let's review 60-minute escape game Frankenstein.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Okay, let's talk pros, the good things we liked about Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
The lighting
What
was
we liked.
impeccable.
Great lighting.
Amazing lighting. When
Great
you walk in,
design.
you don't expect that.
No, it was dark. We
Yeah.
were asking for flashlights. They wouldn't let us use phones or anything like that. And then the lighting.
I think that's the thing that stands out most about both of the rooms that we did at 60-minute escape game, because they're the way that they light up a section based on what you need to be working on and revealing to you which direction you should go. How things lit up in the room was brilliant and beautiful.
Used all 5 senses.
Yeah, that's true.
It even smelled unique.
That's right.
That is true.
Yep.
I mean, not like bad. It's just like it smelled like you were in kind of a professor's laboratory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it smelled like fire when we turned on the fireplace at one point. I don't want to give away too much, but
Yeah.
that was really cool. They made that room. You walk in and you're like, oh, okay, this is
We've just entered into a different realm.
we've left this world. It's a beautiful, incredibly beautiful room, and I think one of the props, and I won't give it away, but one of the props in this room was the coolest prop I've ever seen in an escape room.
Wow.
That final prop, just
Yeah.
gorgeous, so well designed, surprising, very cool.
Which, if you're going to name a room Frankenstein,
Yeah,
you
need
better come big, because
Yeah.
Frankenstein's big.
that. Yeah, that's right.
And they did.
They went. The rooms at 60-minute escape are very large rooms.
Yes.
Like,
Uh-huh.
be prepared to
Huge.
explore
Multi-level.
for a while.
Multi-levels were the key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and great use of the space, because they didn't use a lot of square footage. They went up.
Uh-huh.
And so it helped them a lot to have some high ceilings.
Yep.
Guys
Go-
over 6 foot were at a disadvantage
Good luck. Yep.
in
Yeah.
this room.
Yeah.
Gotta go up, gotta go down.
But you're not crawling. You could actually walk for the most part.
you had to crawl.
There was a crawling.
There was some crawling.
Section.
Yep. But
Or two.
very good room. The puzzles were fun.
Mm-hmm.
A good mix of physical challenge puzzles
Yeah.
mixed in with all the other different
Teamwork.
types of
You
puzzles.
had a few.
Teamwork, mental.
Yelling back and forth, going back and forth between the two rooms. Pretty non-linear room.
Yeah.
You could work on multiple different puzzles at the same time. In fact, a lot of times you guys would be on one level working on a room. We'd be on another level working on the room. Very good room. And I think we're kind of underselling it, because you were saying this is like one of your top rooms that we played
Yeah.
now.
When you get out of it, because of the final wow element,
Yeah.
I came out saying, boy, that's a 5 out of 5 right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We unpacked it a little bit and was like, well, maybe. I went down to a 4.5 after,
Okay.
because I can do that.
Mhm.
That's my
The
skill.
room is an incredibly well designed room. I'll be totally honest about 60-minute escape and say I was turned off by a couple things that happened before we ever got into the room.
So now you're going to cons.
So we'll jump back and forth a little bit.
Gotcha.
We pull up. The owner of the place has his own parking spot.
Next to the
Not
handicap
for like
spot.
first-time visitors.
That you pulled into it first.
And then I had to back out and go park across
So
the
we
parking
didn't get
lot
towed.
because I'm not the owner of the escape room. So
It said owner's parking place.
We
All
know who's-
others will be towed.
we know who is most important to them at 60-minute escape game.
We had to park in the second level.
Yeah. And then you go in and they have rules.
Lots of rules.
They will enforce their rules about only 2 people in the hallway at a time, and 2 people in the restroom at a time, and don't look around while we're giving instructions. And
Yep.
they like their rules.
Wanted to use the restroom? Nope, not until you sign the waiver.
Yep. So they're structured. A Type A, 1 Enneagrams, a lot of them at this place. So I was a little turned off. I was expecting a lot from the rooms, and the rooms delivered.
Yeah.
Very good rooms, better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Just the puzzles and the room design, the set design in Frankenstein specifically, both rooms were incredibly well designed. The lighting is the thing that surprised me so much.
The lighting was fantastic. So many different. I mean, and the only reason I went from like a 5 to a 4.5 was there were a couple of puzzles like that was so minute. I don't know if I ever would have gotten that without a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were 2 puzzles where we were just like, Nope, would have never figured that out. And so one of the things that I think great room designers do is they clue toward everything. Everything has a clue. So it says, in order to find the solution, look at this, or they have an icon that points to that.
Yeah.
This one you were just kind of needed to guess in order to solve the puzzle, and I don't feel like they clued enough. Now I would say they were generous with their hints. And so the hints were great. The hints were great, and I was happy with how they used the hints to show us what could have been done through clues.
One of the things that I think was a pro but also a con was how complex some of the puzzles were that used maybe electricity or sensors. It also was, some of them were finicky. And so we kind of lost some time just because we had to get the sensor perfectly. Even though we had the puzzle solved, we had to make sure that the sensor was completely on the thing.
Yeah, and I would say, so a lot of Generation 2 locks. Generation 1 locks are you put a key in a thing or you turn the... Generation 2 is I set this thing on there and somehow some electronic thing happens and the door opens. Tons of Generation 2 locks and automated things in this room. But usually as comes with Generation 2 locks, maybe if you don't set the item perfectly on there or something, that gets a little finicky. That just is par for the course for Generation 2 locks. But one of the things that I think great designers of Generation 2 locks do are have very responsive doors or mechanics. So when I solve a puzzle, it is obvious what just happened. That door flew open, not, okay, now we can open it versus we couldn't before.
Yeah,
so there were a few times when we solve it, awesome, the door flew open or the light shone on it. But there were a couple times when we solved the Generation 2 lock where it was like, I think something clicked. Did we do something? Did we solve
Everybody
it?
be quiet. Did something click?
Yeah. Trying to figure out what did we solve? Where does that lead us next? Now, the thing that they did to solve that problem most of the time was lights. Oh, that wasn't lit up before, right? And then we realized, okay, now we can open the door.
Lights
that the light was shown on.
Show the way.
Yeah.
So here, go ahead.
Go ahead. One time, it was actually a great thing that we had to open up, but we had to put a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah, that's right.
And we thought we were breaking it, but we had to actually put enough pressure on it. So normally they're saying just, if it's a finger or thumb, but this one we actually put extra pressure on.
And we were nervous because of how serious they took the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we were like,
But we put some extra pressure in it, and it popped it open, but we were a little nervous of that. So that kind of was
we kept looking at the camera like...
Yeah.
I thought the room was awesome. So here's what I would say about the owner's parking place. If you can design rooms that well, you deserve your own parking place. No problem with that. Keep it.
Good job designing. It was beautiful. Let's go to reviews. What would you give it out of 5, Bill? You said 4.5?
I'd give it a 4.6 at this point.
Okay, so we're rounding to 5. Billy
Sure.
gives it a 5 out of 5. It's deserving of
It
a 5 out
deserves
of
that.
5.
It was great.
It's a beautiful room. Mark?
somewhere between a 4 and a 5. I mean, because we did 2, I have a 5 for the other one. So I'm giving this one 4 just because I love the other one that we're going to review in just a few minutes. I'm going to give this one a 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna for the same reason for the 4.
Yep.
Just because it was incredible with the other one.
Yeah, and I'm giving this one a 4 because of the things that annoyed me about the room that didn't work perfectly or weren't clued entirely well. But the set, I mean, is an easy 5.
Very realistic props.
The props.